Hello, you guys. Hope you all are doing well. Let me know if you can hear me just fine. All right, fantastic. All right, just give me a moment getting set up. Hope you all are doing well. I scrambled. I got some things together to show, for example, everything we talked about last week. Last week we talked about metals and prepper stacking and just the economy overall. Why you stack, who's stacking, who's new to stacking. And so I picked out a little bit of everything that I could find, just like a nice variety, because, I'm going to ask a poll question while you guys are here. Before we get started. Have you prepping? New to it. The last 5 years, for obvious reasons. And we'll go more than 10 years. Alright, let's put up a poll. And it's trying to gauge who's watching, how long you've been into this for, what have you been buying and stocking, and more importantly, the why. What got you into not only stacking metals last week, but overall, what got you into being prepared? Was it the last 5 years? Was it before that? And what were those reasons? A lot of people I talked to, it was Katrina, as far back as Katrina. It was snowstorms, ice storms, especially up here in the Northeast. This is a great item. I bought this years ago. It's a saltwater lamp. So you put in salt water, and it is very bright. In fact, if you look for one of my videos, I actually tested this. And I had a giveaway. I gave one away. It was actually ironically to a woman in North Carolina during hurricane season, so that was perfect. Hey from Toronto, hope you're doing well. Same, likewise, hope you're doing well too. Alright, thanks for hopping in tonight. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys got something from the last live. I haven't gone live in a long time, but with everything that's been going on with the markets lately, metals, a lot of new people flying into the market with metals, and then preps, especially the last 5 years, people getting into this stuff. Now that it's colder out, do you have ways to be prepared? More than 10 due to my daughter being born. A beautiful voice to protect my family. Beautiful. This right here I got not too long ago. You can actually get one of those steam packs and actually cook in here. So we got a few of these. These are great. Just being versatile. Play these what ifs. This is actually, we can actually have fun with this. What if there's no power? What if it's cold outside? Like these cheap emergency blankets. These are very versatile. These are fantastic, and they're still cheap. We actually have a whole box. Let me see if I can pull it out. I pulled out a few bins just to demo. You can get a whole box of these things, of blankets, and they're cheap. For a few reasons. One, they maintain heat very well, but two, they're very fragile. So say, for example, you lose power. You can duct tape these or take some painter's tape, put them on the walls, and you'll have that beautiful radiant heat you can trap inside. We got some oil lamps. Oil lamps are great, but get extra wicks. Gives you another alternate power source. You can control how bright you want things to be, but get yourself some extra wicks. If you have any ideas, please put them down below. Answer the poll question. How long have you guys been doing this for? If you're new to it, I'd love to know. AG silver is already moving up 67.35. Some are saying that when Shanghai over 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll take off. Yeah, the futures are interesting. I don't know. Where do you think it's going to end this year? Do you think we're going to hit 70? I don't know. Again, I I never give out financial advice, but this is to be very curious. I'm very interested in next year how everything performs. Again, if you lose power, do you have water? Can you wash things, dry things, close pins, for example? These are great to have. We had Hurricane Isaias come through over 10 years ago, and we were able to do laundry outside, hang it up to dry. We installed a Bison well pump, so if you have your own well, great investment will be a well pump. Hey, how's it going? I hope you all are doing well. Thanks for stopping by. Think about things that last forever. Honey, maple syrup. Now, a lot of people get the big jugs. I like the little ones because once you pop them open, you have to refrigerate them. So lots of these little ones, these little guys right here are great to have. It's great for morale. It's a great source of carbs and sugar. Freeze-dried protein. This is so important now more than ever. Chicken, beef. We invested actually into a Harvest Right freeze dryer, I want to say September of 22, and that thing has more than paid for itself. If you can't do that, lots of other options online. You have freeze dry wholesalers, no affiliation. My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply also has some of the best deals on the Alexa Pure water filters. We buy them, I think, 3 at a time. It's like the best deal. You have freeze dry wholesalers, scrambled eggs. We actually have a protein bin. Scrambled eggs. You gotta get your protein. You got eggs. We have. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Freeze-dried chicken. Think beef, chicken, eggs. Eggs are like nature's multivitamin. They're fantastic. So again, think protein. Just like anything, start small and just be consistent with it. 10 days ago, it'll hit $70, but retract a little. When China starts limiting exports, we'll see what happens. Yeah, they do have the limiting exports. I did hear rumors today of U.S. doing the same thing possibly, so that's going to be interesting. Now, when it comes to anything canned, these are great. Can openers. I cannot stress this enough, how important can openers are, and a very comfortable one. This one I bought years ago. I liked it enough where I bought 5 more extra. This one just locks once you get going. And then everything's padded. This thing is fantastic. If you get into anything canned, have extra can openers. In fact, I even have the little P38s, the little flat ones. What I'll do is go through random cans, put them on top, lay them in here, put the lid back on top. So you have extra just all over the place. So you're never without a can opener. Cannot stress enough how important those things are. Coffee filters. Not just for coffee, but anything else you want to strain or clean. Those are great to have and have plenty. Sugar, salt. The great thing with those is when you put them away in Mylar or bags or buckets, however you want to store it, you don't need O2 absorbers for those two. They last forever and they're so versatile. Baking, cooking. Very simple, still very affordable. Great to have. I was thinking about, and I used to freeze dry our own fruits, vegetables. I saw these lemon packets. These are great for if you just want some lemon in your water. I got a whole box of these. These are great to have. Many reasons to have them: cook them, baking. Just want lemon water for your overall good health. Potassium iodide and apple pectin. Apple pectin, because there's a story about Chernobyl when everything happened. The locals actually gave the kids apple cores and pectin and actually helped them with different layers and levels of radiation poison. This will actually help absorb it. So this is more of those reactive bins. You have your supplement bin, which is preventative, and then we have a reactive bin, and one of them in here is the apple pectin and the potassium iodine. So if you have any ideas or tips or tricks or things that you have in your kits and how you get organized, do you have a preventative bin? Do you have a reactive bin? Just little things to think about. Are those wheels for wheat grinder? Yes, this is for the Wonder Meal. We have electric one and we have a hand crank one. This is for the hand crank. We have the Wonder Mill Junior, and these are the steel burst sets. So these are actually replacements. We have for long term, and I rotate through enough. We go through Azure Standard for our wheat berries for fresh bread. In fact, over here, I actually have some sourdough rising right now. I'm going to bake that later tonight. But in the meantime, if you want to have bread long term for comfort, you don't want to store flour because once it's ground, it has a limited shelf life depending on how warm and cool it is. Wheat berries, airtight, this will last very, very, very long time. And then you can grind it at will, fresh. And these are the replacement wheels. But they're going to last such a long time. But again, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Preaching to the choir. But it's good to know these things. So we got this. This is a great complement to your hand crank wheat grinder. And you can get your wheat berries and mylar in a bucket. What about meds, antibiotics, antidiarrheals? Oh, Chase Case, yes. Big fan of Chase Case. And there are other companies. I think it's American Frontline Doctors actually has their own as well. There's American Frontline Doctors, there's Jay's Case. I think there's 2 other companies that are doing that as well. But again, you got to make your own plan. You can get as creative as you want with this. If it's just you, even easier. But how creative do you want? Start with the basics. How to stay warm, how to make fire. In fact, today, my daughter and husband were outside melting wax and putting some of the wood shavings in these Altoid tins for little fire starters. So those are brand new. What else we got? What about meds? Jay's Case? Yes, exactly. If you have medication, ask your doctor if you can get a few months in advance. Sometimes you can get 90-day advance. Over-the-counter meds? Absolutely. If you have babies, if you have children, if you have any special needs. Again, look at each person, look at your family, look at your household. What do you do on the day-to-day basis? When you get up from the morning, you brush your teeth, you're cleaning up, get extra soap, get extra hygiene supplies. Think the basics. And then, of course, food. I like the fundamentals. You can actually make your own bread with the wheat berries. Protein is fantastic. Freeze-dried eggs. These are avocados, so a good fat source. How long should you plan for? Months? Again, you know what? Start for 3 to 5 days. And then build out from there and then rotate through it. Think the fundamentals. Light. Candles, always for safety. This is a saltwater lamp. This is fantastic. This is great to have. You can find that. Get your hands on that. Seeds, if you want to grow your own garden. Even if you don't have land, you can absolutely container garden. That's fantastic. You can start with herbs, build up your green thumb strength, and then go from there. Start small, just like stacking we talked about last week. Start small, be consistent with it though. That's the other trick. Start somewhere and then just build up from there. Start with small can of protein and then go work up to bigger bags of protein and then work your way up to mylar bags of wheat berries so you can grind and make your own fresh bread. Honey, maple syrup, things that last forever. Get small containers so you don't have to refrigerate them. If you do lose power, you can test it out. People have done this and survived well when they've lost employment. This is their bridge to when they got another job again. And then you can, get creative with potassium iodine and apple pectin and really look at your history. Look at Wartime Kitchen on YouTube. It's this beautiful series where people actually, I think it was done in the late 80s, early 90s, where they reenacted people surviving and just making it through World War II in England. It was an island nation, much of which was imported, so they had to make do with what they had and really come together. So build your local communities now with your farmers markets, your ranchers, if they have cows nearby or sheep, wherever they may be growing, local cheese, local honey. Talk to them, build a great healthy relationship, learn how to do it yourself. If you can just start with chickens, with eggs, and then eventually scale up to processing your own meat. But again, you gotta be consistent. Don't just buy something and then sit on it. Put it to good use, practice it, make these lamps work. Get extra, can openers. If one doesn't work, you're gonna think, okay, let me get an extra one in case one fails on me. Think of the adage, 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none. Baking soda, baking powder. Put these things to rotation. Coffee, if you love coffee, if you have vices, think little alcohol nips or loose tobacco, stuff like that. Be creative. Iced tea mixes, protein, meals ready to go. Food fatigue. Again, recipe books. Be creative. Get the raw materials and then be creative. If it's snowing outside, stay inside and make your own meal. You have the basics. You have salt, pepper, seasoning. You want some different spices. Buy them in bulk. You get a better deal. And you won't have to deal with food fatigue. Or if you're not into baking, again, you have websites with many options. You have freeze-dried marble pound cake for a morale boost in the future. If you have the means, freeze-dried pumpkin pie, guys. You're not going to suffer. Okay, if you can plan a little bit now, think of the future. We call it camping in case you lose power. Let's see. Let's check out the poll. How long have you been prepping? New to it, 75%. More than 10 years, 25. So we got both sides of the pendulum here. Hey, good on you to everyone who's new to it. Again, the trick is just being consistent. And over here in the back, we have water filtration. You talk about priority of things. I can't recommend this one enough. We've had Alexa Pure for, oh my God, well over 10 years, I believe. We have the countertop, and this is the pitcher. So if you go camping or if you need something portable, this is one of the best water filters, hands down. I mean, we stock up their filters. I'm looking at 4 for the countertop and 2 more for this one right here for the pitcher. Alexa Pure and their air filters are amazing. If you want a great Alexa Pure water filter, that's the brand. And My Patriot Supply, this company right here, has some of the best prices on their filters and their supplies. But you also have Emergency Essentials, lots of other brands. You could think of Cabela's or Bass Pro if you want to buy in person and actually look at bags and get creative. You start somewhere and then just start with like a container like I showed you just a moment ago. Fill it up, label it, like protein. One could be for fruit, one could be for vegetables, one could be for fill in the blank. Then you can have your own medical kit. You can have your own fire starting kit. You can do this with friends and family if you want. Again, start small and just scale up. And then more importantly, you can really cater it to your needs for your home, your family, everything. We have extended our shelf life for supplements, teas, coffee, meals. I mean, if you get yourself a Harvest Right Freeze Jar, invest in that. Maybe get friends and family in on that. You can rotate who's using it each week, for example. You can make your own meals in a crock pot, put it on the shelves, run it, and then you have your own meal that you can Mylar bag and save for later. You can absolutely be as creative with this as you want to be. The online app, whatnot, has outdoor prepper supply vendors. All right, MREs are good, but they do have a shorter shelf life because some of them do have liquid in it. If they're freeze-dried, it's even better. They're good for 3 to 5 years, depending on how you store them. So those are, I want to say 3 to 5 years, but you want to rotate through that. Like go camping, or if there's a power outage, use that. Or if you go to work, bring it for lunch if you want to. And actually eat them, see if you like them before you buy a whole case of them. I'm trying to think what else. I've basically glossed over the basics right here. I mean, you can get really micro with this. Seasoning, medical supplies. I mean, how in depth do you want to go with that? We're talking Band-Aids, gauze, medical tape, to suture kits. You can actually buy, get some pigskin and actually practice suturing on that. I mean, you can get real nerdy with this. Do some research. I would say start with how people survived World War I, World War II, how creative they had to be when it came to the holidays, when it came to emergencies, or growing their own food, preserving it, cooking it, making fuel sources last. There's an example of a woman who took this wooden box and lined it with blankets and took this cast iron cooker, put all the supplies in it, she cooked it, got it really hot, put it inside, put the lid on, and then tucked and covered it with blankets, and then just tucked it somewhere and just let it continue to slow cook over hours just to make any fuel source last. If you have firewood and you use that, cut a little extra next year and then rotate through it. It's like anything, really. You can start small and really build up from there. If you can do this with family members, even better. You can go with your hypotheticals, depending on where you live in the country or around the world. If you're up north in Canada, You guys have had those ice storms where people actually died. We actually had that in, I think, January of 21 or 22, where people in Texas, they had that big deep freeze and pipes burst, and some people actually froze to death in their homes. So if you know winter's coming, get extra blankets. Think about the hypotheticals. Gloves, think basics. Gloves, hats, socks, pants, blankets, emergency blankets. So if you're stuck in a house without power, you take some painter's tape or just line these on the walls, hunker down in one room, put a blanket over the doorway, and you can actually stay warm. Just little basic things like this, just those hypotheticals, what ifs. We don't have all the answers, but if you can look to the past, you can learn to get ready for the future. So it's good to have it, not need it, than need it and not have it. Now you're scrambling. So these are just like a nice little smattering of things that you could think of now and being creative as possible. From everything from supplements to salt, sugar, pepper, just the basics, something spicy, you know. Wheat berries, this will last you a very many years. We're talking decades if it's stored airtight, cool, and dry. You can get an electric grinder, you can get a manual grinder that hooks up to the counter. Practice now. A lot of people buy these supplies and you think, okay, I have it, I'm good. But put it to good use. Practice. On a snowy day, grab yourself a small can of freeze-dried chicken and make some white bean chicken chili or some chicken casserole or hot dish or whatever, or what may you. Be creative with it. Write down these recipes. Say you got so creative, you're like, hey, I like that. I want to do that again. Write it down in the recipe book. So when there's another snowy day, you can say, hey, I want to make, you got creative, you pulled this out. Sure, you try some different herbs and seasoning. Can't tell you enough. Cases of salt. Remember there was a time where people were paid in salt because it was just that valuable. Pepper, cayenne, Italian blend. It's something that's already pre-made. You just, buy it in bulk and then just rotate through it. Again, I love the hypotheticals. I love the historical specials and series, like Wartime Kitchen was a good one. And there's another one that kind of piggybacked on that one, where people actually lived as if they're going through World War II. All right, let's take a look at the quiz. 5 votes, new to it, 80%, more than 10 years, 20. God, this is just like last week. A lot of new stackers, a lot of new preppers. The best advice, so you're not in over your head, come up with a list. Think about the what ifs from the time you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth and clean up, go about your business during the daytime to when you go back to bed. How do you stay warm? How do you get light? How do you cook? Do you do open fire? Do you steam and utilize, containers like this? How much water do you want to store? Just the basics, and then go from there. That's how we did this years ago. Yeah, just think basics and then grow from there, like anything else. Crawl, walk, run. But the fact you're even in on it is a blessing. That's fantastic. So good on you for being curious and doing some research and just even getting started. So I hope you guys got something from this. If you have any questions, put them down below or any ideas. We'll discuss it. Yeah, this is fantastic. I love that so many more people are getting in on this and waking up and realizing what's going on. Metals, what's going on around the world, and taking matters into your own hands. Yeah, again, if you can get your friends and family in on this, yeah, that's the best. And then you can get real creative with it. That's the fun part. So it's just like dollar cost averaging with metals. Same thing with this. Because, oh God, I got this years ago. I can't remember how much I paid for that. This, I think, was, I'm trying to find a date on here. I wish I wrote a date when I bought this. I think this was $20 just a few years ago. Say $5 or $6, or 5 or 6 years ago. Blankets, definitely get these, especially in cold regions, Canada, Northeast, Midwest. Yeah, be creative. Come up with a list. Look at recipe books. Figure out what ingredients you need when it comes to meat, spices, and so on, and stock up on that. Think the basics. Things that last, God, I want to say forever, but a very long time. Rice, beans, lentils, what your dietary needs are. If you're big into protein, stock up on the protein now. Beef, chicken. If you can find a locally sourced vendor, like a butcher, for example, that's amazing. We just took in a quarter cow delivery 3 days ago. I made a short about that. We got a lot of ground beef. We had 23 bags of 1.5 pound ground beef. Those bags you saw in the short, those were 1.5 pounds. We had 23 just of the ground beef. That was phenomenal. So again, if you could shop local, support local, and then get a freeze dryer and go in with it with your family or friends and be as creative as possible, that's fantastic. Things that already you can buy, like maple syrup that'll last forever. Once you open it, you do have to refrigerate this one, so I like to buy little ones. Honey, that's fantastic. You can also buy powdered heavy cream. I'm trying to think, powdered butter, that's another good one too. But again, think protein, think eggs, chicken, beef. You can have as much fun with it. You can actually be very comfortable. Get the wheat berries, grind them up. You can make blueberry muffins or blueberry pancakes. You can even get some pumpkins in the fall. You can can them or freeze dry them and make pumpkin pie, pumpkin pancakes, pumpkin ravioli. I mean, you can really go to town just with the basics. But again, get yourself a really good recipe book, look through the ingredients, and then shop for that. So you're good to go. Yeah, again, if you guys have any ideas or suggestions, drop them below in the comment section. Help out one another even after the video's uploaded. People will go back and watch these and read the comments. If you have any recipe ideas, if you have any medical ideas or camping in a huge nutshell, how to keep warm, how to do certain things, fishing, hunting, all that stuff, or good book references or website references, drop them down below, help out one another. And I think that's how we can actually keep getting ready for whatever happens. So the important thing is being creative, working on goals, working on projects. And I think that'll be a good, healthy distraction from everything else that's going on. And I'd rather do that than, doom scroll. You guys let me know what you're doing. And we're going to end the poll. Yeah, thanks for participating. Don't mean to be rude, but what are you prepping for? Anything. If there's a power outage, I can cook and provide for my family, keep us warm. In case we lose power, which we have in the past, we can actually put these up on the walls and stay warm. Food, long-term rotation, anything really. You name it, you can be as creative as you want with it. But for us, it's power outages because we get hit with that 3 to 5 times a year. And the wintertime, we just had a lot of rain come through. We had some trees fall down. And some people couldn't come out because they had a tree either in their road or their bottom of their driveway, for example. So you can be creative and prepping for that. Do you have a chainsaw? Do you have a means to repair shingles if they come flying off in a windstorm? I just saw a father and son working on helping a neighbor repair the ridgeline with the shingles that fell off. So just little things like avoid water damage. If you want to stay warm, you want to eat when there's no power. I mean, you can get really crafty. I mean, if you do that once, it almost inspires you to say, okay, what else could we do next time if this were to happen? So anything, if there's a job loss, extended power loss, again, hurricanes, ice storms, you name it, and then just life in general. It's always good to have that. I think just 2 or 3 generations ago, a lot of our ancestors had root cellars. They didn't have grocery stores until, I think the early 40s for the majority of the country. So you had root cellars, you had farmers markets, you had butchers that were everywhere, buying local honey, buying local cheese. And now it's artisan because it's not that widespread. So it's just getting back to the basics and feeling really good. It's just like life insurance, car insurance, home insurance, in case anything were to happen. It's always those unexpected what ifs. So if we can just have another layer of protection, absolutely. Definitely worth it. So again, if you have any ideas or other questions, let me know. Again, I hope y'all are doing well and happy early Christmas and New Year. Again, we'll be doing this every Sunday. I haven't done this in the longest time, but I think with the resurgence of new stackers and people wanting to get ready, I don't know, I think it felt good to come out and just give some reassurance that help people point them in the right direction, give them some starting points, or even if you've been doing this for a long time, help share information and knowledge and experience with others who are just brand new to this. Because we had 80% of people saying that they're brand new to stacking and prepping. Literally anything you can think of, put it down below and help out one another. There's a lot of good information out there, a lot of expertise. And I like the fact that people are actually coming together as communities, even if it's online, and helping out one another. So again, if you guys have any ideas or suggestions, put them down below. I'm gonna go work on the bread over here. All right, you guys be safe and well.